All right, so it is day one of the Pleasure Challenge, and thank you so much for being here, having the courage to sign up, taking the action to watch the videos and to do the practices is just a huge step towards empowering your own sexual well-being, to stepping into the pleasure that you deserve, and to prioritizing you. So thank you so much for showing up for you and for taking part in the 5-day Pleasure Challenge. So, you must excuse me that I don't have the fancy cameras and the lighting and the sounds. I've just moved overseas, so all of my kit is still in sea freight. So we're just gonna roll with what we've got, and that is my iPhone and my voice. So you'll hear street noises, you'll hear all sorts of things, but I will do my best to make sure that the message still gets across. So I apologize that we're not in A-grade production quality at the moment, but it's not about that. It is about the message. So again, thank you so much for showing up. I know that sexuality can be quite a taboo subject for many women, and especially when we're talking about pleasure and things like that, it can bring up a lot of stuff for women, a lot of resistance, a lot of judgments, a lot of shame. So thank you again for just being here in the group and for sharing or for supporting other women, and most of all for showing up for yourself. So it's gonna be really simple for the next 5 days. Basically, you'll see me popping in each day with a little bit of a video where I'll be jamming on a topic of the day, and then I'll be introducing you to your home play practice. So then there'll be links to either a meditation or a practice that can be done in the evening or in the morning, and they're all designed to be done in your bedroom. So either laying on your bed, sitting on your bed, just in your bedroom, and they're not that long, but they are super, super powerful. So I really want you to take action. I want you to promise me and promise yourself that you will at least give them a try. So a lot of women come to me and they tell me that they desire more pleasure, they desire better orgasms, they desire deeper intimacy, but so many of them are unwilling to do the work, and without action, nothing will change. I can sit here and talk till the cows come home. You can watch the videos, you can read the resources, but if you don't take action, nothing will change. Yeah, it's like wishing that you had a six-pack and then never doing a sit-up or never going to the gym. So with anything, pleasure, deeper sexuality, deeper bliss, epic relationships take work. Unfortunately, I don't have a magic wand that I could just be like, here, awesome orgasms for everyone, epic relationships. But just like everything, there is no quick fix pill. There is no magic wand. It takes a lot of effort, persistence, and patience. So regardless of where you are on your pleasure spectrum at the moment, know a few things. I want you to know a few things. A, that it takes work. B, that it's a learnable skill. So a lot of women come to me and they go, I'm broken, I'm defective, I'm not, I just don't have it in me. I want to make something 100% clear. Every single woman has within them the potential for extraordinary pleasure and ecstasy. Fact. End of sentence. If you have a brain and a spinal cord, your body is hardwired for pleasure. That's the science of it. You have hormones in your body that are designed for you to bond, that are designed for you to feel great with sexual pleasure. You have some of the most important and powerful nerve endings in your cervix, in your pelvic floor muscles, in your opening of your vagina, in your clitoris, in your did I say pelvic floor? Anyway, you are equipped with every single thing that you need. You have a brain that loves to light up when your body goes into states of ecstasy. It's been measured, it's scientific, it's sacred, it's there. What happens though is that we disconnect from our body's pleasure, and then we feel like that there's a problem with the hardware. Quite often it's not a problem with the hardware, it's a part of reprogramming ourselves to come back into our bodies and to connect to our pleasure. Yeah, so that it's a lot of what I teach is not about learning a new skill per se. It's not about a fancy sex trick or layering more intensity onto a sexual act. It's about stripping things away, yeah? Letting go of conditions, letting go of stories, letting go of this need to add more and to take it back, stripping away so that we can find the subtleties of pleasure underneath. And that's really where pleasure happens and begins, is when a woman can come back into her body and feel what's already there. And it's all like it's there. Nobody is completely numb to sensations. If you were to go like this, if you were to rub your neck, you would feel your fingertips trailing on your body, yeah? It's the same as if you would touch your clitoris and your vagina. The feeling is there, it's just that we're numbing out from the feelings, or we're blocking the pleasure. And that can be overturned, that can be worked with, that can be, you can retrain yourself to feel, yeah? You can retrain yourself to resensitize. So a lot of what I talk about, whilst pleasure is an absolute skill that you can learn, it is a skill of less. It is a skill of the subtle. It is the skill of coming home to a place of remembering that it's already there. It's already underneath your skin. Yeah? So it's letting go of the layers, shedding things that no longer serve you, and reconnecting to what's already underneath. Yeah? For example, another good example would be, I used to love my vibrators, right? So I knew that I could have an orgasm with a vibrator. But as time went on, I slowly started to want higher and more intense sensation. Yeah, I was finding that I was kind of getting a little bit too used to one particular sensation. So my vibrators became more powerful. Up until the point where I had a massive, big, sort of robust one that I had to plug into the wall and hold it onto myself in order to achieve pleasure. Now, there's nothing wrong with vibrators, but what I learned from that, and what I discovered when I went through all my trainings and really learned much more about my body and the pleasure, it's about less than, not more than. That all the sensations are in my body and I can cultivate them and expand them, but it doesn't need a huge amount of intensity in order for me to just experience ecstasy, yeah? In order to experience a transcendental type experience in the bedroom. It's the subtle, it's the tuning into slight sensations, it's working with breath, it's working with things that I already have in my body that I had just disconnected from, yeah? So if you are looking in this program, in this training for some whiz-bang, incredibly explosive technique, you won't find it, because what I'm interested in is creating lasting change, retraining our bodies to experience pleasure in the everyday, resensitizing our bodies so that we feel pleasure at the drop of a hat, that we don't need so much turn on, or we don't need so much stimulation in order to achieve ecstasy or pleasure. So with that being said, a few other things that I wanted to address about pleasure, and that is that wherever you are right now is perfect. Wherever you are, whether you experience little ripples of pleasure or you experience amazing bliss bombs, it is all completely fine. You have taken steps to work with where you're at, so let go of any judgments, or let go of any I should be, or why me, or anything like that, and start afresh with your sexuality. Start a experiment, start a journey of going, I'm really going to investigate who I am as a sexual woman. What gives me joy? What lights me up from the inside? How I can bring my body to a state of turn on so I can live a life that is vibrant, that is juicy, that magnetizes to me what I want and desire. Yeah? So let me just look at my notes so I know that I'm completely on track. Yep. Awesome. Pretty much covered it all, I think, from the little intro that I wanted to give you. So today's practice, we're focusing on mindset and self-love. So the reason why I chose this as the first day is that without self-love, pleasure is near impossible. So again, what happens in our brain, sexual pleasure, is a combination of both the mind and the body, yeah? The mind, the brain, plays an incredibly huge role in translating sexual pleasure and allowing us to continue on our down the sexual pleasure journey. For example, in your brain you have a very large no button and a very large yes button. In order for you to achieve sexual pleasure and to feel turned on, to feel arousal, to reach states of sublime bliss, you must have the no button off and the yes button on. Yeah, so think of it, you can think of it like a car as well. So accelerator, brake, accelerator, brake. So a yes button is things like the environment that you're in. You're feeling sensual, you're feeling sexy, you've got a lover who's kissing your neck, you've got candles on. Yes, 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 this is a sexual scenario. I'm feeling good, let's go. Then you start making out, you go to bed. As he goes down on you, your brain goes, oh, I'm worried about how I look. I'm worried that I smell. I'm worried that I haven't fed the cat, or what's he gonna think of me? Am I a slut? Should I even be doing this? Whatever it is, your own story, your own judgments, slams on the no brake, which keeps a lot of us locked out of our pleasure. So we may still be able to experience some pleasure, but we won't be able to experience the full range of our pleasure potential because we've got that no button. So for many women, a lot of things will trigger that no button, which will put the brake on any kind of sexual pleasure. But mostly what I find is things like body image, is shame, is guilt, is the sexual story that our culture has told us that it's not safe to be sexual, that sex has to look a certain way, that we must achieve a certain result in the bedroom. All of these things can put a big fat foot on that no brake, slamming our pleasure to a halt. So this is where self-love comes in. Deep compassion, the realization that you are perfect just as you are, so that when you go into the bedroom, your body knows that it deserves pleasure, that it has a right to pleasure, that it can look at all the different parts of yourself and go, my body is sensual, it is sexual, this is okay, I am loved, I am held, and I am safe, just from within yourself. Yeah, this is going to make a huge difference to many women who experience a lot of voice chatter in a talk as they're going to make love, if they're worried about how they look, if they're on top, if they should even be touching themselves, all of the things. Self-love is key. Yeah. What self-love also does is it brings about boundaries, it brings safety, it brings trust. If you're a woman who, and I know this from experience, from 100% experience, that when I was in my early teens, I was 20s, sorry, I was running around trying to find validation with a partner. I was having sex, having a lot of sex, but not feeling anything. Yeah. So what happened was I didn't have the right boundaries in place to honor me. I would say yes when really my body was saying no, but I would do it because what would they think if I said no? Or if I had a bit of pain, I wouldn't speak up and voice my pain. I wouldn't ask for what I want. I wouldn't check in with my own self and my own intuition and my own boundaries to make sure that my body felt safe in order to open up, in order to be sexually free. So what happens, my body lost trust. My body went, I'm shutting down because clearly you aren't playing the right game here. So I'm not going to feel anything. I'm not going to give you pleasure. I'm going to actually hold on to a lot of tightness and anger and resentment for you because you're making decisions without us all involved. Yeah. What happened was when I brought self-love into the equation, things started to unfreeze. Things started to thaw. Pain started to rise, stuff that I had suppressed. And my body was like, man, you have treated me pretty damn bad over these years. You have not allowed me to have a voice here. My vagina was like, dude, did you ever ask me if I wanted to have sex with him? Or, man, that hurt. Why didn't you speak up? All of those things, yeah? Your body will remember things a lot longer than your brain will. So it holds on to that energy. It holds on to that pain, that stuckness, energetically and physically, yeah? And this is why I'll talk a little bit further on about de-armoring and getting rid of that. So self-love is the cornerstone, because I can show you 42 ways to have an orgasm. I can show you how to have a breath orgasm. But if it doesn't come from a place of connection and true respect and love and reverence for you, then what's the point? There is no point to sexual pleasure if it doesn't fill you up. Yeah? So I want you to be really, really, really conscious of putting self-love at the top of your list. And I know it sounds a bit cheesy, and I know that so many people bang on about self-love, but look at it as self-compassion, as respect. If you want to be a sexually empowered woman and to reach the depths of your feeling, of your intuition, of your ecstasy, there's got to be some deep inner trust there. There's got to be some alliance and alignment with your body, mind, and soul. Yeah, so I really want to encourage you to put self-love above everything. So you can do that a couple of ways. There's a few ways in the Facebook group about the 6 sentences to acknowledge who you, to give love to a part of your body that you haven't given love to. You could, again, every time you walk past a mirror for the next week, just simply say, I love you, you're safe, I'm here for you. Yeah. There's the other meditation with the Hawaiian prayer, beautiful way of letting go and forgiving yourself for not being there for you. Yeah. There, I would really, really encourage you to sit in the question of where in my sexuality am I not accepting myself? Where am I disowning this part of me? What am I ashamed of? What am I guilty about? What am I resisting in my sexual self? And write it down. Write down. You could write a letter to your sexual self. You could write a letter to your yoni, or your vagina. Sorry, it's Sanskrit. You could write a letter to yourself and just say, look, no more. I'm putting us first now. I'm going to voice my desires. I'm going to take a stand for my pleasure. I'm going to do what I can to ensure our sexual well-being and wholeness. Yeah. So the meditation, the home play practice that I've actually got for you today is a wholeness meditation, and it's about coming back in and going back into your body to where you were originally shamed for your sexuality. Because we didn't come to this earth going, oh my gosh, my thighs are too bad, or oh gosh, I'm too sexual as a baby. We learnt that. Our culture decided to tell us what is and isn't acceptable. Our parents, God bless them, probably did the best that they can, but also had their own stories. I remember my hand being smacked away when I was little because I was masturbating. So I got the message, it's not safe to touch my body. It's dirty. It's wrong. Yeah? God bless them. They're all just doing the best that they can, but these are the things that we pick up. So we end up with this garden full of ideas, or this a garden full of plants we don't want. We get to choose what our sexual garden is like. We get to plant what it is that feels good for us, what is acceptable for us, what we need, what we desire. Yeah? So grow your garden, plant your garden with the stuff that lifts you up rather than brings you down. Yeah? And then water the shit out of it, fertilize it, keep it alive so that the weeds don't creep in. And the weeds are things like other people's opinions. They are your inner self-critic. They are the idea of culture that a woman's thigh should be a certain size, that sex should look like it does in a porno or in a Hollywood movie. Yeah, you've got to fiercely protect your sexual garden so that it doesn't get overtaken and overgrown with other people's shit. Yeah, so a good self-love and an excellent mindset is what's going to get you through. So being very, very conscious of how you think about your sexuality, what you desire for your sexuality, what needs to be released and let go of, what needs to be addressed, what needs to be, what you need to be grateful for, are all ways to bring in your sexuality into your consciousness. You can't change anything that's in your subconscious. You must bring it to the forefront. You must face off with it. You have to get it out on paper. You have to express it. You have to be honest with yourself and dig deep if you want to take change, if you want to create change. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of a big rant from me. I told you these videos are going to be me jamming. I probably haven't even, I wrote a whole bunch of notes of things that I wanted to cover, but I feel like that is enough for now. It's 20 minutes. So again, please take time to sit in that question of where in my sexual self do I not feel whole? What am I not accepting about my sexuality? What do I need to let go of in order to feel sexually empowered? What do I need to shed? Yeah, really write it down, get it out of your system. Again, you need to bring it to the light in order if you want to heal it. You cannot heal anything that's not there. For those who feel pretty awesome in their sexuality, awesome. Where can you go further? How can you amp up your self-love on a day-to-day basis? How can you give yourself more of the good stuff? Yeah. So the meditation that I have for you today, again, it's really powerful. Expect some tears or some any kind of emotions. Please know that if anything arises during the meditations or anything, reach out for support either via the Facebook page or email me direct. I'm here 100% with you all the way. But also know that it's good. Every time you release something, every time you let go of something, you're making way for something new. So quite often we have this idea that to feel pleasure, we can't feel pain. Unfortunately, you have to feel pain and pleasure. And quite often it's the pain that stops us from feeling the pleasure. So if you suppress the pain, oh, I'll cry, it's too much, it's too emotional, we're also blocking the pleasure, yeah? So what we want to do is give our body free range to feel. Remember how I was talking about resensitizing? If you're unable to express and not allowing yourself to feel, you won't resensitize to the subtleties that your body's giving you. Yeah, you won't feel the sensations as deep because you're putting conditions on your feeling. Unfortunately, you don't get to just feel the good. You have to feel the grief as well. You have to feel the anger. You have to feel the fear. And we'll touch more about that tomorrow. But just know that if there is any emotions, let it out. Cry, write another journal entry, punch into a pillow because you're angry because you've been sold a lie about your sexuality. Whatever it is, get it out. You must let your emotions complete themselves. You must go all the way through to the end if you want to be emotionally and sexually healthy. Yeah? So just the other day, again, I couldn't get why I was feeling stuck in something. I was like, what am I holding on to? And I realized what had happened was I'd been traveling a bit, but being with a lot of people and holding myself quite in that space of socially acceptable. When there were times when I was just like, fuck, I'm so angry with the world, or I'm so pissed off about what's happening in the news, or I'm so sad that something that had happened with my family, whatever it was. So I gave myself permission for half an hour to just fully fucking go there. I put on some music, I thumped into a pillow, I screamed into the pillow, I cried. I felt 1,000% better, yeah? So allow your emotions, it's just energy in motion, to come up and through you, yeah? So don't feel embarrassed or ashamed. Let it out. All right, guys. So I hope that covers a few. Ooh, good timing because now some roadworks are happening. I'm going to see you tomorrow with our next home play and our video. Have a listen to the meditation. Jump into the questions on the Facebook page. Always feel like you can email me for support or anything that you need. If you are having troubles with the audio, please try to open it on your computer because I know some women have had troubles opening it on their phone, and I apologize. I seem to not be able to get SoundCloud or Dropbox. I'm unsure how else to present the audio. So if anybody has any ideas, shoot me an email. But yeah, please try it on your computer, and I will see you tomorrow.